So it's come to this, the final chapter of Demon Slayer. Um, wow. If you haven't seen it, I did make a video earlier about the series in general, non-spoiler kind of little talk. I'll leave it in the link down below. It was really more of like a thank you video to the series. This video, however, as you can tell from the title, is going to go into specifically chapter 205, the final Demon Slayer chapter. And it is wow. I'm just going to assume that you read it already. So I hope if you haven't and you want to go read it, go ahead and read the chapter and then come back and watch the video. Or if you don't care about spoilers, then this is what I'm going to be talking about, because there's a lot to talk about over here. There are a lot of cool little details. First off, I do want to talk a little bit about chapter 204, the previous chapter. What a way to, Jesus Christ, what a way to really get you on the emotions, like Tanjiro waking up, the whole him not being able to move his hand right away. It is kind of implied, I think, by one of the last panels of that chapter, that his second arm gets healed, I think, because there's a point where he's eating it like with both hands properly. So I'm just going to assume that his arm got healed. However, it's one of those things where you get to see them having fun. Like it was really fun. Them like hanging out, the interaction between one another, the whole thing with the whole thing between Nezuko being back to her normal self, and we get to see Nezuko's human personality. The whole thing with Sanemi and Nezuko, that had me laughing. Especially with friggin' what's his name again? Wait, I got shit over here. With fucking Zenitsu over here, like just peeking from the corner, getting angry as hell. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That had me dying. And I did get a little bit teary-eyed when you got Rengoku's father coming in and basically thanking, like he said, I heard that you used my son's hilt to fight this demon. Like, thank you so much. And like that had me, even now, like that's hitting me right now, because Rengoku, Kyojuro Rengoku, he managed to do something, and I've been wanting to say this for a long time already. He managed to do what Jiraiya from Naruto did in like a volume or two, in 2 volumes. He managed to get to the point of like professor, teacher of Tanjiro within 2 volumes, and with the same emotional impact, which is mind-blowing for me. Because every time, like after that volume, and mind you, that was early on. What volume was it on? I think it was volume 7 and 8 that he was introduced. People loved him already. People liked his character design. People liked his personality, despite him being one of the people that in the beginning of the Hashira meeting that said that no, let's kill this traitor, Tanjiro. Like, he was one of those guys that said it. Despite that, in volume 7 and 8, when you get to his introduction, his fighting style and everything, like people loved him. And after his death, obviously, people were still talking about it, and you could tell that throughout the rest of the series up to this point, his influence stayed there. So shout outs to Rengoku. I pre-ordered the statue. I can't wait to get that months from now, because it's being on pre-orders right now, but I can't wait. I'll make a review video of it as well on my channel too. You guys will see it once it comes out. I'm excited. But yes, 204, amazing chapter, which then you see like the final panel with like a cityscape, so it got you curious as to what was going to happen. And then we finally get to chapter 205. So 205 is a very interesting chapter, and this is why I needed both screens right here. I have the chapter right here with me, and I have the characters right here with me, because as you probably read the chapter, there's some interesting stuff going on. That's why I need these 2 screens next to me right now. And I read this chapter like 6-7 times already, but You have basically Kamado Kanata and Kamado Sumihiko, two characters which again throughout the chapter which you read already, right? You this whole the whole concept goes into reincarnation, like these people are reincarnations of the Demon Slayer corpse and the people and the characters. So it gets me to thinking already, like I like you start puzzling, like, okay, who's who here, because it doesn't make 100% sense. Like if you look at the first page that you get is a color spread, and then the second page you get that big color spread over there of all four of them or five of them, excuse me, with Inosuke in the back as a professor. But it doesn't really make sense since it should technically like it's you got Tanjiro, you got Senetsu, you got who we assumed was Nezuko, and then you got the third person who again who could it have been. And I started figuring it out that maybe these reincarnations aren't really specific people to begin with. And this is what I like about this author again, doing a play on reincarnation, not just, all right, this person is this and this person is that. I think, and I could be wrong with this, I think that the author decided to go with reincarnation of the body, but also a blend of personalities, because the Kamado Kanata, I believe that's Kanao, like a male version of Kanao, but at the same time he is like the brother of the Kamado Sumihiko, who is Tanjiro, who's the reincarnation of Tanjiro. But at the same time, so I guess this Kanao is kind of like Nezuko at the same time, because she has the quietness going for her and so on, which Kanao also has. But yeah, so Kanao and Tanjiro are kind of reincarnated into brothers over here in this part of the story, at least. So you get the whole spread. We get the first black and white page, which I'll probably be also like putting images over here. Zenitsu's reincarnation is just Zenitsu. I believe that's just plain him. You got the black hair going on, so because he in this reincarnation he doesn't get struck by lightning, so you get introduced to Agatsuma Toko. Well, first of all, Zenitsu's name in this version of the story, his name is Agatsuma Yoshiteru, while his sister Agatsuma Toku, I believe that because this had me confused when I first read it, like because she's very like hard and really strict and very sister-like. So I was like, wow, is this Nezuko? Because at the same time, like if you think about it, if you assume from chapter 204 that Nezuko and Zenitsu got together, let's say that they got together because that's what the fans wanted, that's what I wanted. If they got together, then technically their bloodlines should remain within their family, and therefore Zenitsu and Nezuko's reincarnations kind of being brother and sister over here makes sense because they're from the same family, so their genes would still be under one branch, one main branch. However, I started thinking like who else she could be, and I think she's a mix between Nezuko and Aoi, if I'm not mistaken. Aoi from the Butterfly Mansion, the sister-like figure who was always very strict with Zenitsu, and it also kind of makes sense to go up on that route because if you think about it, whenever Zenitsu was in the Butterfly Mansion, he didn't want to take his medicine if he was being a stubborn asshole. Like Aoi was always there to lecture him and to point her finger at him, so it kind of makes kind of sense over here. Plus, leading onwards to the next couple of panels where they're basically, this is a school setting. If I didn't bring it up earlier, but this is basically a school setting. They're all very young. You got them like Zenitsu, and I'm gonna call them by their Demon Slayer names and not by the reincarnated names. I'm sorry, but you got Zenitsu and Aoi basically got them walking down the street on their way to school. They see apparently this famous athlete that won a gold medal. What's it called over here? Japan won the gold medal in gymnastics, and then you see a picture. That's just fucking Tengen. That's really really cool. Like a cocky athlete. That suits him in a modern time, I would say. And then there's a little joke that goes about like how he's a cocky asshole, but at the same time people love him and forgive him because he's like being like showing like taunting basically the cameraman, and they're like, oh well, whatever. And Zenitsu being his jealous ass, basically just saying, man, good-looking people always get away with anything. They can do whatever they want. And then he sees a picture of this scientist, which is a reincarnation of Inosuke, and how he found the freaking blue spider lily, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, let me check. So discovered some kind of new blue spider lily, yeah, but then accidentally let them all wither, which is again the joke that goes with this. And then Aoi's basically telling Zenitsu like, yo, that's a guy, because Zenitsu's over here like, man, she's so pretty and shit. Going back into the joke of Inosuke, excuse me, having a very feminine face. Then, this is where I wanted to. This is what got me confused in the very beginning when I first read the chapter, because I could already tell what was going on, and I knew where this was going. I knew where this was going. However, let me just double check. Yes, so you have this one panel. I'll try and put it over here, where look there, those twins are cute, and then you basically get a picture of twins, which in the beginning when I first read the chapter, I thought that Kanao's reincarnation, the guy, I thought that was Muichiro, because Muichiro being having a brother, maybe I thought that was going to happen, that Tanjiro and Muichiro, they were going to be like siblings, especially because they were kind of around the same age in the original story. So I thought that maybe the twist was going to be that they're brothers now. But then thinking about it, with this panel now, you see like them talking about twins. Muichiro had a twin, so I'm assuming this is the reincarnation of them. I can't really tell by their design on their hair either, so I'm just going to assume that that's Muichiro's reincarnation. One thing I forgot to mention early on, apparently Zenitsu was reading the Demon Slayer story, and according to Aoi, it was basically transcripts or like a fiction that their grandfather wrote, which is very, very cool. And it hints towards the ending of the last panel. So that's to keep in mind. So then Zenitsu and Aoi keep on walking, and then Zenitsu's making like a loud noise, and then he smells like two cute girls who are basically just the freaking Kocho sisters. Basically, you got over here Shinobu and Kanae. So, and then just their reincarnations right over there. Like again, panels over here. I'm going to try and like, and then you have Aoi freaking out whenever she sees Kanata, which is Kanao, the male version of Kanao, and so he's standing next to the. And this is why I also thought that he was Muichiro at the beginning, because he's standing next to the. This is obvious the kid with the mask from the swordsman, from the, how do you call it? What was the village again? From the village where they make the swords, the swordsmith village. Yeah. So this is clearly that kid, just without the mask, but just basically just the same face anyway. And I can't really tell who the other kid is though. So basically then it's implied that throughout the panels that apparently Aoi and Kanata are basically together, like they're kind of like a couple, which is hilarious because again, in their original state that we know them, basically they lived under the same house and they were like sisters. So it's kind of cool to see them being attracted towards one another in a way. Maybe the author wanted them to have like a love. Maybe the author wanted to have a love relationship between Kanao and Nezuko. Maybe that's what happened, and he couldn't bring that forth in the manga officially, so he decided to reincarnate them and kind of make them a couple over here. Who knows? You got Zenitsu's jealous ass again about his sister, and then you got you shift over to a panel where you got my boy over here, which again I'm horrible with names, so I apologize. You got Guillaume over here. He's reincarnated as a preschool teacher, and like he's over here like telling kids not to hit each other. Um, and then you get this cool panel. Okay, you get this cool panel where Kanata and Aoi, well, Kanao and Aoi basically are saying, uh, why don't you want to go eat together at the school cafeteria? And Kano is basically saying, I wish we could, but I don't feel comfortable around them, because you got the lunch cafeteria people, and then you get a picture of the reincarnated Mitsuri and Iguro, which is cool because that means they fulfilled their promise from the series. They said that if we ever get reincarnated, we're gonna make sure that they get married, and that none of them let the other die. It's a nice closure. It's beautiful in a way, and they are married. They're the husband and wife, and Kanao basically tells Aoi that, I don't feel comfortable around this guy because he keeps hanging like snake decorations all over the place, and he threw a knife at some point to a student because apparently someone was looking at his wife a little bit too much, and it is then implied that it's Zenitsu. And then Tanjiro finally starts to wake up, and he realizes that he's a little bit late, and this kid is like parkouring the crap out of everything. Like he's jumping off buildings. He's and like nothing. Like this guy just casually like, oh no, like I'm gonna be late, and then he's like running back and forth, jumping off building, jumping over houses and shit. It was interesting to see. Then we get our homeboys. We get the old school Hashiras playing. Playing, what was the game? Shoji, I think is the name called. My apologies. They're playing that chess game where the king and shit. You got Sakonji and you got Jigoro over there, like just casually playing, and Jigoro is the one to point out, like, man, what the hell is this kid? This kid does this every time. He runs through our stuff every single day. And then you get this one thing that I want to find out through you guys. Maybe I'll find out through other videos eventually, but I couldn't tell really what was this here. Here we're with the oldest person in Japan, the record-holding Ubuya Shiki-san. Oh shit! Okay, so I just actually just looked it up. The oldest person. You got the Ubuya Shiki. The family line is still relevant, is still strong. You just saw a live reaction of me finding this out because I'm horrible with names, so I apologize for that. So they just show that on the screen. We're running through this chapter. Tanjiro's like running by people, and you got the three homegirls from the butterfly mansion over here. You got Sumi, Kyo, and Naho over here. The three little girls. Like he runs by past them. Then Tanjiro, because he's in a hurry because he's gonna be late for school, he basically like kind of flips over a police car, and then you see the brothers. You got Sanami and you got Genya over here, like just as cops, which is hilarious. And again, I like it because I could see them as cops. It works. And then you get the one panel that really hit me like emotionally, like it hit me a lot because I love these characters so much. You got the reincarnation of Giyu, Sabito, and the girl I keep forgetting, and Makomo. And it's just this, it's heartwarming to see because we know how much Sabito meant for Giyu. So it's heartwarming to see that in their reincarnation that they are friends and they're hanging out without any worries. of dying or protecting one another. Like it's just they're friends. They're in their new life. They're friends, and it's heartwarming to see that. This panel got me. Not gonna lie. And they're just having casual fun. But you got basically this kid. He's looking at a picture of this beautiful lady who's clearly Lady Tamayo, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just confirm. Yep, Lady Tamayo. And he's looking at a picture and he's blushing like, wow, she's beautiful. And then you got Zenitsu like a creep just popping in there and just smiling like, hey, yo, I know what you're looking at. And then you get the explanation that apparently these paintings of this beautiful woman are made by our boy Yoshiro. Well, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's literally. It is. It's the work of the mysterious man Yamamoto Yoshiro. So, if you take this as a fictional add-on, this whole chapter is a fictional add-on. And maybe like again, Zenitsu was reading the fan fiction of his grandfather, so maybe he was visualizing the whole story. Who knows? But if you take that into consideration, you start double doubting yourself a little bit over here with this one particular panel, because it kind of is implied that it's the same that Yoshiro's been alive this entire time throughout these generations of people that after the Demon Slayer Corps stopped, after everyone moved on with their lives, Yoshiro still is alive up to this point in the series, and he basically kept not really he didn't make a promise with Tanjiro, but Tanjiro told him, hey, please stay alive. You're the only one who can keep the memory of Tamayo alive, and this is his way of doing that, and it's a nice interpretation. It's a nice follow-up to his story, and the author did an excellent job in saying this is what's going to happen with him. He did an excellent job, and you could tell by his that he apparently still has this horrible temper, because he says he's an artist that shot a rifle at a reporter that came to get an interview. So like he still has his temper. I don't see his cat is on the shoulder still, so it's still the same Yoshiro. And then, highlight of the chapter, we switch back to Tanjiro running to get on time, and you got the reincarnation of Rengoku, and it's not implied, but I want to believe that they are the same age at this point, because in the original story, Rengoku was older than Tanjiro, and he was like a supervisor, like a mentor type, and it looks at least like they're almost the same age, so like they're going to become friends, or they are becoming friends in this point. And they're talking about like sparring with like the kendo team, like kendo basically like the bamboo swords, and how he's been practicing nonstop, and that's part of the reason why he was getting late, because he forgot about school, because he was sparring and training so much. And he's telling Tanjiro, hey, physically I think you would be great to join the kendo team, like you should come and hang with us. So it's nice to have them reunited like this. It's nice to get a little bit more of Rengoku. You can never get enough of that guy, his cool eyes and his smile, like he is something. And then you have like the principal basically yelling that the person, like the gatekeeper, closes the door so that the Tanjiro and Rengoku don't get into the school on time. And this is where I just literally now started noticing that this principal looks more like Murata. He has the same exact haircut as Murata, so maybe this is Murata. And maybe the other kid, I don't know, maybe it was some other kid that I forgot about right now, I'm sorry. And the chapter kind of leads on with Tanjiro and Rengoku kind of jumping over the gate so they could reach the school on time. And then you got the cops, Sanami and Tengan and Genya, excuse me, basically just telling the principal, hey, yo, can we have a word with you, please? And this demonic face is funny. You got the reincarnation of Inosuke, like sitting on the bench saying, like, man, I feel like I'm gonna get fired for that shit that I did with those plans. I want to live alone in the mountains. Going back to his roots, it is a little bit sad with him. At least I feel a little bit sad, a little bit compassionate with this character in this chapter. I wish Inosuke got a little bit of a happier ending. He kind of got, I felt he got a little bit shafted in this chapter. And then the last three panels is Tanjiro's mother basically picking up the phone saying, "Yes, this is Kamado. What, my son? I'm so sorry for the inconvenience." Basically implying that Tanjiro got into trouble because hopping over a police car. And then you get the picture of all of them together. Like and by that I mean like the original crew, end of the final battle crew together. And then it's implied that, yeah, this shit really did happen, and it wasn't a fan fiction that Zenitsu was reading. No, it was a real thing, and this here right here is proof of it. You got the what's it called? The Hanafuka earrings, I think that's what it is. It's called a Hanafuda. Excuse me, Hanafuda earrings. You got them like placed in a frame next to the picture, and you got everyone. You got most of the people over there. So maybe there's some hints as to who's who in the image. I can't really 100% tell. Like I'm saying, I feel that some of these characters are blends of personalities and body, maybe of different people. So yeah, beautiful chapter. Wow, beautiful chapter. It's sad to have the series close out, obviously, because this series has been doing such an excellent job with what it's been doing. However, to see where it led to, how it concluded, was very creative. The author did an excellent job. Koyoharu, amazing job doing with this particular chapter. This is subverting expectations that I know that's been thrown around a lot, but you did an excellent job with this particular chapter. I'm not gonna lie. Wow. Lots of fun with this chapter. Shall we get more? Who knows? At some point. I know a lot of people are fiending to get more Demon Slayer, and I understand that. However, I am happy with how the series ended. I am happy to have this closure. I couldn't have asked for a better closure for a series. And if more comes out, like I said this in a different video as well, I hope that we get it from the original author, whether it's a prequel or a side story. I hope that it's from the official author. Because if not, then I don't think I want to pay too much attention to it. Unless it's canon, then maybe I'll keep an eye out for it. But if it's something by a different author, and I have bad experiences with those kind of situations. So nonetheless, this video is way too long, but that was the analysis of this entire chapter. Thank you, Demon Slayer. Hope you guys had a lot of fun with this. Hope you guys agree with the resemblances that I was trying to make. And if you disagree with something, or if you find something out, again, I kind of make this quick. I read this chapter like 6-7 times, and this is what I could come up with. So if you see that I said something wrong, or if you see something that I missed out on, then hit it on the comments down below. Thank you, Demon Slayer Army, and let's wait for that Mugen Train movie to come out. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see Rengoku in action. So yeah. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment down below, and otherwise I'll see you around. Bye.